make sure okay, we are good. All right.
Good.
Hello and welcome to another special edition of Occupy Pro Wrestling Live, where we are here to discuss our reactions to NXT Takeover 31, hailing from the Capitol Wrestling Center, which we'll discuss in brief in just a moment. But we are, of course, starting out, and I am Alex Smiley on the Twitch at Alex Smiley Plays. I'm joined by my pals and buddies as we discuss how Takeover went. First, of course, is Chris, aka T-Bone, is live on the Twitch. How are you doing tonight, Chris?
1 foot out the door, that's for sure.
Okay,
As I go a week off the internet for some vacation. Well, not completely off the internet, but definitely away from you bozos.
buddy.
We are spitting fire tonight.
You're just having too much fun with that, aren't you? Okay. Alrighty.
Sorry.
Now you're good. Alright. We're also joined at this time by James, aka JJ Titan Dog 70 on the Twitch. How are you doing tonight, James?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Well, alright then. We ready to go? Let's talk about this really interesting night. So before we get into the matches, I do want to give a shout out to NXT and WWE for having the audacity to actually address their pre-WWF days as Capitol Wrestling, because NXT Takeover and apparently NXT going forward is going to be over at the Performance Center, but instead of it just being what they had for other shows at the beginning of the pandemic era, we have the Capitol Wrestling Center, which is...
I do miss the warehouse fan.
Uh,
The hardest working fan in show business.
But I got to say, I like it though. It's a mixture of.
Yeah.
We said it, and then we said this about, I'll say, a month ago.
Yes.
Several months ago,
I in particular said, and that's why I'm bragging so much about this now, but I in particular specifically said, you know what would make this really work? Is a combination of the video wall and some fans, because we were like, you can't perfectly mimic having actual fans at the arena.
Yeah.
The video screens are a good close, but not quite there. So having a mixture works, and I think NXT proved tonight that you could actually make it work. And also,
we said that before.
Yeah,
it's a great looking arena now.
And
they should do all the shows there.
Honestly, yeah.
That should have been what Thunderdome. That should have been what Thunderdome should have been.
I know, it looks more like Thunderdome than Thunderdome, especially with the plexiglass and friggin'
the cages.
The cages.
It looked like
that's a Thunderdome.
It felt like it was an actual, it felt like an actual place. So you felt, you had the intimate look of an actual wrestling arena, but then you had the new age screen on there. Now you had both, and you got that look. You even got the interaction of, we'll talk about when we get to it at the end of the show. But so it's a good look. It looks good. It felt more organic now when it comes to just that Thunderdome is just a wall of people.
Mm-hmm.
It feels now that you have that feeling of it's there. You get that back to what it used to be feel to it.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a great look. Great move.
And it's also proof that even if whether or not Vince McMahon watches this show, it's proof that Triple H watches this show, and that's always good to know.
No, it's good.
Thanks for hanging out, Hunter. We appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into it. The opening match.
You want to run it down?
Alex, you want to run it down, Alex?
Sure, I'll run it down.
All right, we'll change it up tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm sorry.
All right.
You got that. You go ahead and do that. I'm sorry.
Okay. The opening match was the North American Championship match. Damian Priest defended his title against Johnny Gargano.
Yep.
It was the storyline going into this match, of course, was the poisoned prophecy, where Johnny Gargano and his wife Candice LeRae would both win titles tonight and be the first husband-wife couple with titles in WWE. I don't know if that's actually true, because this is a really big company with a long history. But either way, it has a storyline going in.
At the same time, I actually think that it would be true.
I'm not entirely sure, but I didn't do the research myself either.
No,
Like,
I'm going back to my history of
yeah.
WWE.
Well, I just make that comment
else.
because WWE has a dubious case of the first time history thing.
But husband and wife holding two titles at the same time, I think that has never been done in the E.
But unfortunately, just to kind of finish it up, Damian Priest kind of put a kibosh to the prophecy and
like I said,
NXT Championship, like we all said pretty much in our predictions. So
yeah,
we did it.
Yeah, we got like we said before. It comes down to Gargano was a great match. I thought they put Damian Priest is a star in the making. He's a guy that, honest with you, could be main roster ready if they want to. He's got that. He's got everything to do that. They're probably going to keep him there a little longer. But like I said, Gargano doesn't need the belt. It's not. Gargano has done everything. He doesn't need the belt. It was a good challenge for Priest. It probably moved him toward more. Maybe be setting up. I don't know, in a few months, if they want to get him into the main event of next NXT, we can go that route and everything. Yeah. So I think it was well done. Like I said, it was a good match. It was a good way to showcase. Gargano already proves that he can work with anybody. He's got the skills to do that. And Priest is already starting to show that he's a star. He's going to be a star. It just depends on, when if they get to the main roster, if they use him right. So again, that's a whole different argument right there. So
draft is next week.
They're not going to do that.
I know.
But and as I said, so I say good match. Like I said, that's why we picked Priest, and I enjoyed the match. I like Priest. He's going to be good. He's going to be a star.
But yeah, I think this was actually the best match of the night.
I think so. Or at least it was definitely up there. Definitely.
I think it was the best match.
Gargano,
I think in the terms of storytelling.
We'll call him Johnny Takeover for nothing. He can put on matches.
Right. And it's not to say the other matches were bad. I think this is the best match of the night in the way that this was really kind of the presentation I think was maybe the women's match, but had a slightly different presentation that I kind of liked. But this match felt like a big heavyweight fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Had that big fight feel. I think Damian Priest is going to lock down this North American title division for a while, just because we saw what happened in the main event, which we'll get to in a bit. So yeah, but I mean, really great match. Johnny Gargano trying to cheat his way, trying everything to win.
Oh yeah.
Like that's classic heel stuff that I think is sometimes
lacking.
Lacking.
Yeah.
Like we forget about these in the title matches now, because especially we'll go back to the main event, but it ended up being more of a respect versus respect thing, which is fine, but it's something that kind of NXT has leaned into a lot more lately. So it's nice to see this back to traditional. Hey, I'm the bad guy. I'm going to win this match, however.
Yeah. Trying to take
under all costs, because we've seen Io has kind of turned face over the last couple months, so she's not doing that anymore.
Right.
Damian Priest has turned face over the course of capturing this title, so we're kind of lacking that desperate. I'm the bad guy. I got to do whatever I can to win the match. So that's why I think this is probably the best match for me, just because of the way Johnny Gargano.
I can see that. Yeah, for sure.
Alex.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you. I thought like you said, it was definitely really good. It was definitely a really good match. Definitely had that big fight feel, as you mentioned. It's kind of hard to really. It's hard. Sometimes it can be hard to pin down like one specific highlight, just because the whole match, like the match as a whole, was really, really good on that for that reason. I did like the times when it looked like Priest could have possibly lost it. It tripped me out seeing the cameraman basically get squashed, and that led to the low blow that might have been arguably the closest that Gargano really got to winning the title. But yeah, for sure, lots of really good moments in that one. Definitely a good way to open it. Just as a quick aside, this is why I was a little confused when we were trying to start things off, because I just realized they literally, from the order that we ran down the card for the predictions to the order that they actually did it on the show, they literally swapped this and the Cruiserweight title match, and I think that's what threw me off. But but this was definitely a really good opener. Like for
it's a good opener. It's the way you need to open the show here. You got probably, you open it up, and Takeover's always been good with their openings and everything. And this is The same as most takeovers. The openings start to show off strong, everything like that.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
right.
So the next match was the grudge match.
Yep.
Kushida took on the Velveteen Dream,
Mm-hmm.
and what ended up being a very, very brutal match in the way they kind of handled things.
Well,
I
again,
and
I
Kushida,
like.
hold on.
No, it's okay.
Let's get the results. So the results were that Kushida he did defeat the Velveteen Dream,
Mm-hmm.
forcing him to tap out after just kind of strong arming the Dream Valley driver while keeping the arm lock, the hoverboard lock, I think is what he calls it,
Hoverboard lock.
Yeah,
up into
Yeah.
it, and then Dream couldn't escape, so he tapped out. And then we saw after the match that Kushida continued the attack relentlessly on Dream's arm for a solid minute and a half.
Basically dismantling the Dream, so to speak.
Yeah. There was the W2F moment that I kind of caught at the beginning of the match, and that is the referee started the match while the Dream was still on the outside.
Oh. Nice.
So that got me a little bit, but it doesn't, like, it's something that's funny, and I'm sure it's gonna make like a botchamania or something now.
Probably. I did.
But yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah.
Again. Your turn.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over. So basically, yeah, it was a good match. I think I liked it a little bit more because I kind of desperately wanted to see Kushida win. And not just because him winning meant that I was able to avoid the slightly regrettable call out that I made on Thursday, but I think it was a good showcase for that that kind of that attitude that was building from within, that he was letting more and more of out over the weeks leading into Takeover, and I think that this was a good way to showcase that. I tripped out a little bit because it actually took me a minute or two to actually recognize, and I think Beth called it out, in response to the fact that Kushida dresses up the way he does, kind of looking a little bit like Marty McFly, as a nod to his.
You didn't know that?
Well, no, I know what he was doing. But no, what Dream had done in response was trying to dress up as trying to dress up a little bit like Doc Brown in response to that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Although I did see a funny tweet saying, why didn't he dress up like Biff Tannen? But
yeah, that's what I was saying. That's my thought too. He probably would have been better if he just.
But I think it was more just. I feel like the justification on that was purely just that it makes more sense just to see Doc Brown and Marty, and who knows. But anyways, the match itself was good. I liked it because it was a good way to showcase the sort of the new attitude that we were seeing on Kushida.
Yeah, like I said, and I like it too. That's what Kushida needed. When he first showed up, he came in as, well, we know people who are hardcore fans know who he is, but people who don't watch New Japan and everything didn't know what he was. So he came off kind of just a bland white meat baby face.
Yeah.
Now he has some edge to him. Now he's got like some fire, some, he can stand out now as he's mean and nasty and everything. And like I said, it was great. Velveteen Dream always puts up great matches. He's very good. He's still raw with his talent-wise, but he can work. And I think they're setting up where, like I said, I think he's probably moving up to SmackDown and Raw. I mean, this is probably
that's possible.
This is probably his exit out of Next and everything. The way because they set up that his arm injury and everything. That's why he's not there.
You're right.
And they'll probably move him up. We probably see him either on Raw or SmackDown. Probably SmackDown. I think his style would fit better on SmackDown and everything. He has that flamboyant style and everything. I think that would work better on SmackDown, but they probably just stuff him on Raw just to, So either way would work. So I think this is his way out, and this is a way to build Kushida up as now he's got the fire and he's nasty. Depends on where they want to go. They can throw him into the the Cruiserweight. If they want to go with Swerve, or they want to go that way, they can throw him into North American title. If you want to go with Priest, that you can go that route and everything. So that would work, though. I could see him as it'd be interesting to see him as the heel to a babyface Damian Priest. Well, Priest is a tweener, so he can go either way on that one. Or if you want to throw him into the main event, you could throw him. I don't know how he would fit in the main event yet. But he could go that route too. I would probably say North American title. if nothing else. I think that would be a natural move fit right in there for him.
I'm in agreement with that. Like literally, unless he's low enough on the weight that he was to go after the cruiserweight, I think North American title would be a good.
Well, he is low enough to weight. He was, remember he's
he's definitely a cruiserweight size.
Either one of those would work.
And they can fudge the numbers. Trust me,
and he was like in the cruiserweight title tournament.
Right,
so,
that's a fair point actually. Also because he is he's a former that's a good point. He's a former junior heavyweight champion in New Japan. It's a similar situation. But either of those I think would be a good next step for him.
I would say North American.
But
I
could see North American for sure.
I would go North American because he was already in the hunt for it the first time, and that's the reason why we had the thing with Velveteen.
True.
So
very true.
So I could see him going into the next challenger, or like I said, maybe this Wednesday, Priest comes out and Kushida jumps him or comes out and to face off and everything like that. And we go in that program because I know then we get the thing for Halloween Havoc now. So
that's like in the month.
Yeah.
In the month. So
I'm excited for that. I just feel.
Well, yeah.
I feel a little bad.
Yeah, we'll get to that. On the subject of this match, I mean, I don't know if I believe Kushida yet. Wasn't good enough for me. But they have time to do something with him.
Yeah.
It's a step in the right direction for his character.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. So the next match was the Cruiserweight Championship match. Santos. Santos.
I got you.
Santos Escobar. Yeah, I know, right? Santos Escobar defending his Cruiserweight Championship against Isaiah Swerve Scott with Legado del Fantasma at ringside. This one we all whiffed on.
Yeah.
I think we all picked Scott to win for different reasons that I thought were valid. But it looks like we're going to move to something else first. But Santos did retain the title after interference from Legado del Fantasma, as well as Isis Adonis. Is this
Ashante?
Yeah.
Ashante V Adonis.
Ashante V Adonis. Yeah. I could not catch his name. I'm sure he's been on 205 Live, but I haven't been keeping up on that recently.
He was on next too.
He's been on a little bit of both. Yeah.
So I mean, he hasn't been featured much, but he came out to back up Scott. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. Just kind of introduce someone new to the mix. Because I'm surprised we didn't see like the Breezango there.
Well, they're probably, like you said,
they're probably quarantined.
They're quarantined. They're
probably.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it means someone else got the opportunity there to kind of put their stamp on the match, which was nice for him, and he even got a promo after the match backstage.
Oh yeah,
it was a good promo.
Just to put himself, just to introduce himself, which was good. But this is probably the last we'll see of Scott in the title picture for a while because he's had chance after chance after chance, and this probably means that Jordan Devlin isn't coming back anytime soon.
Well, yeah,
probably.
Probably. But so overall, I thought, like I said, I thought they would move it off because I thought they want to move Escobar up and everything. I think it'd be good to move that, but they might have changed their plan on that. That because then the end of the show, kind of, when we get to the end, we'll talk about that. I think the end of the show may have proved they may have changed their plans a little bit on that, and that's why.
Yeah.
Right. But I think he's going to anchor the division in the way that they wanted Jordan Devlin to anchor it for a while.
Yeah, I think
just because he's kind of he's sort of a big name because he was El Hijo del Fantasma in Mexico, right?
Yeah, and also was
he's an established brand, even though he unmasked and took the Santos name and gimmick. He's still a big international star, so I could see him anchoring the division for a while.
Because he was also Alex, give me the name.
He was also King Cuerno in Lucha Underground.
King Cuerno, in Lucha Underground.
So
I
mean, Swerve was Killshot back then, so that's why it was such a trip about that match entirely.
Yeah. And it was a good match. Again, those guys can work well with each other. They're both great workers, both of them. It was a great match. Like I said,
Isaiah's best outing to date. Like I've not been I've been impressed with his moves and in ring work, but his character work not so much. But he really took a step forward in this feud.
Yeah.
As a character.
Yeah. So what they probably need to, like I said, what they probably need to do is they're going to probably run some tag team. I think with him and Adonis and everything, they might run them as a tag team. to separate a little bit, and then Santos can move into if Santos wants to move into a little bit, take the next challenger in the cruiserweight. I'm not sure who that could be. There are a few out there and everything, but they probably have to establish that probably next show.
Yeah.
And everything. We'll probably
Yeah, they got time. I mean, because we won't have to take over again until Survivor Series, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
actually, no,
like I said,
Halloween
have it.
Survivor Series.
But then we have the Dusty Classic going to be probably coming up soon. Usually at the end of the year, we're getting close to the Dusty Classic. So
yeah,
we should see that hitting in soon. So I can see Adonis and Swerve, teaming up. And if they want to move Adonis, they can move Adonis. He can play both. He probably can do a heel also. I mean, that was actually a really good promo. He didn't come off as a bad guy, but he didn't come off as a good guy too. He kind of more of a, that was arrogant.
This is my opportunity. I'm taking.
Yeah,
I'm taking
my shot. Yeah, so he's kind of inserted himself into this when he didn't really technically have to.
I hope this means that we can start seeing more coherence of the cruiserweight division on NXT because like I said on Thursday, there's really no link between that and 205 Live right now. Right. 205 Live should be the feeder show into NXT.
It should be, yeah.
And it should be highlighted on NXT. Like things that happen on 205 Live should matter for the cruiserweight division, and we should see Santos Escobar either every week or every other week.
Yeah,
Hey, he should be the main guy on 205 Live. That should be, like I said.
Well, he is.
Title. Yeah. So he should be. They should be featured more. That he's
like I said, they need to bridge the gap to NXT because the 205 Live audience is almost non-existent.
Right. Which I feel like kind of an issue. I think it was kind of an issue that they had pretty much from the start of 205 Live. They always seem to kind of struggle to get that audience, especially when you consider like the circumstances of how the brand started. Like they started it out as a show that they basically, I believe they either taped it from before or they filmed it like live for after.
They filmed it after.
Yeah, that was and like there were moments when you could tell that the crowd is like not into it because they've already watched.
Yeah, and I mean I went to a SmackDown when they did one of it, and like half the people in the arena left from 205 Live start.
So we've always had, honestly, and I think that was one of my big things about NXT finally bringing the brand and the division into itself. That's why I made the comment on Thursday. I think it was about how they're bringing it into the Full Sail, or in this case into the Capitol Wrestling Center. I think this is a good atmosphere for both. If this is how you get if this is how they do 205 Live going forward as well as NXT,
which they probably will.
That would be a good thing because it's a smaller crowd, and they're already getting in. Like they're already into the stuff with NXT, and since 205 Live and the Cruiserweight division are part of NXT now. Like you were saying, like more consistency, more synergy to use a.
Plus, with the return of NXT UK, you can even bring some of them back.
So
as travel restrictions come up, because we saw as we saw in the next match, kind of what that kind of led to.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they would do for 205. You need to. The problem with 205 has been there's it's a lot of great matches, but no real substance, and then having it synergized with, like I said, NXT can bring some.
It's gone through eras.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like the beginning era, and then we have the Neville era, and then Enzo.
The Enzo,
which I think
the Enzo era was interesting as far as character development because like you still had some good matches. I do feel like the in-ring action didn't seem to get too diminished, but there was a greater there was a greater emphasis on character development and character.
Sounds like something we can review a number.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying like, and then they brought things back to a more in-ring competition base. But yeah, no, like you said, it's been through different eras, and I kind of feel like this is yet another
era.
This has also been. I think this is basically another era that we're seeing for 205 Live.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and get to the next match. So the semi-main event here, it was the women's title match, Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. So again, trying to fulfill the Poison Prophecy, even though Johnny Gargano failed to capture the title. We saw some goofiness in this match when Johnny Gargano, after the referee was knocked out, he came out in a referee shirt and tried to 1, 2, 3 count the fast pin.
He figured it was good enough for. He figured it was good enough for Bayley. It's good enough for him. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Io still kicked out. Johnny tried to underhand some more. He slipped the title to Candice behind the referee's back somehow. The referee is like the least observant person in the world. But Candice nailed Io with the title, but Io still kicked out. And then we had a nice Spanish fly to a moonsault combo. Io Shirai retains the NXT Women's Championship. And there were two key things that happened after the match. But first, we all got Io Shirai right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
Yes, we did.
And so hit the buzzer or whatever we do up above,
Yeah.
in post.
So we were fine with that.
One thing that happened after the match is that on the screen, Toni Storm said that she is back in NXT. So Toni Storm was sort of feuding with Io Shirai right before the pandemic hit, and so we never really got a resolution to that storyline.
Yeah.
So Toni Storm coming back is huge because she's like probably the biggest name in the division that's not Rhea Ripley at this point. But then we learned 2 minutes later it was actually a bigger name in the division now. So we had a prediction contest for the identity of the motorcycle person.
Yeah, we did.
That's that.
I selected Pete Dunne. You selected Bo Dallas, and you selected who did you select? I forget.
Apollo Crews. Just to poke at you.
It turns out we were all wrong.
We were all wrong. We
were so far off.
We forgot to put the woman in front of the man because we all assumed
the motorcyclist was in fact the return of Ember Moon, which I am really excited for.
Oh
Ember
yeah,
Moon's great.
I'm
I forgot.
She had a career-threatening injury last year. Like legitimately, wasn't sure if she was ever going to come back.
Really, I really thought
that was a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
At this point, it happened. So she's cleared and back. That's pretty awesome. She's now the biggest name in the division. She was the one who should have flown Asuka, but never did.
Yeah, it was a board.
So hopefully her second run is a little bit better than her first, but she's back as well. So business is picking up in the women's division. It suddenly has a bunch of where it felt like for a little bit that Io had no one on her level except for maybe Rhea Ripley, who has been busy with other BS. Now all of a sudden she has a handful of women on her level. Because when we said it before, Candice LeRae is not on her level. Dakota Kai is not on her level. Tegan Nox wasn't on her level. The women, Shotzi. The women they were throwing at you. But now we have Shotzi, who's former NXT UK Women's Champion. She won the Mae Young Classic as well. So she's a big name. And then Ember Moon, former NXT Women's Champion, was on the main roster for a bit as well. So big moves happening in the NXT Women's division.
And it's crazy because Thursday we were talking about that on Thursday, and we even said
how shallow the division was.
What's going on with this division? And after tonight, it's looking a little bit better, I think.
Yeah,
like they added just enough new names into the mix, and like there's plenty of interesting possibilities. I do want to give kudos to whoever it was that managed to troll the dirt sheets by quote unquote reporting that it was going to be Bo Dallas. Good job. You worked the dirt sheets, and I respect you.
They were to like former NXT champion. We're like, well, it has to be Bo Dallas. There's literally no one else.
Yeah,
I threw a flyer.
Again, it comes to with. I will admit, we made an assumption.
And
everybody made an assumption. It was a biased assumption because we're thinking
WWE 1 marks 0.
Yeah, it was a former. What they say, a former NXT champion. So we're thinking, okay, who's the last few that's on the roster? And we're thinking, okay,
it was literally
Dallas
only 2 people that could be. It was Bo Dallas and Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Rude. And then Rude make his return.
Bobby Roode, you're right. Yeah, Bobby Roode is the only other former champion on the roster who's not doing stuff.
So
right now.
he made his return on Raw. So we're like, okay, so if we have to decipher that, we're going to say it's probably Bo Dallas, who's still on the roster, but he has.
I was fully prepared for my out of left field guess that it was Neville, but no.
And then it fits, and we thought it would fit, and then the circumstances were it would fit into the main event scene because the main event scene right now was kind of devoid of things. So we're thinking, okay, so this all works. But then we forgot about the women's divisions in the same pattern where
forgot about the women's division.
Io was devoid of perception of there's not no one on her level except for Rhea Ripley, and they've been keeping those two apart. So Toni Storm thing, I'm happy. I love Toni Storm. Again, she's a great worker. She has a great look. She had her momentum stalled a little bit for what
Honestly,
happened.
they should just import half of the NXT UK women's division because like they're all
great.
they're all great in the division. They're all big in the division. Like I'd
Yeah.
say a lot of them would be a lot more bigger
like Jenny.
than
I remember Jenny.
Jenny.
The Piper Nevin. If they bring Piper in, Piper is really good. And, for a girl of her size, she's got great charisma. She can work. There's a few more that I can't remember right now. It's just slipped my mind. But yeah, so that was great. Then Amber Moon is a great injection of adrenaline. Her, we forgot when she made that appeal. Like that's Amber. Okay, that's great. Now, how they're gonna do that? Are they gonna roll her as? I think they should be roll her as heel. I think that would work. She needs to come and do the heel. I think she would work better as a heel in this one, being that she can come in with that attitude as I ran this division. I've seen this division fall apart since I've left. I'll come back to save it now. And that means I got to go through you. Yeah. Nothing personal. I got to take you out. And then go from there and do heelish things. So I think she would work fine. Toni Storm can still be, I think she would work better as a face. I think Toni Storm has got that more look as a face. I think she can go that route. She can even be the counterweight if you want to Amber's, because you can kind of run them into each other too. And then you can always have Rhea go through Gonzalez and Dakota. So yeah, great energy of new talent, not newer and older talent, but there's a great influence of adrenaline into the division and everything like that. And it come for the match. It was a great match. Always, like I said, Candice can work and everything, but the problem what they did was they've never established Candice as a star, and that's she's always come off as one when she was a white meat babyface. And now she's doing much better work as a heel, but they still have never established her as credible.
Right, I've been complaining about that for years.
Yeah. And you've been right about that one, Chris. It's just she's always been great. Her work is solid everything.
I love Toni Storm.
Toni, Candice too.
And I thought you must have,
yeah. And then Candice has never been established as credible threat. That's their booking. That's been bad booking on her side. So, Toni, I love Toni Storm too. Toni Storm has got it. And she's got that look. She's got the work rate. She's going to be a star if they, if we finally pull the trigger and she goes up to the main roster, which I always thought they were going to do with her. But
hopefully with her presence in the brand now that we can finally move Rhea Ripley up to the main roster.
That's what I'm thinking too. It'd be a great way to, if you're going to,
because now you have Toni Storm to fill her niche, right? As a foreign woman who's also badass.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley can go up and knock some heads around in the women's divisions.
I think
SmackDown.
I think they're going to do this.
I think so too. I think she'll get drafted.
Yeah, I think they're going to might do the blow off with Gonzalez probably maybe this Wednesday.
I think that's scheduled this Wednesday actually.
Yeah, they're going to do that.
They're going to blow that off, and then she's
probably
going to get drafted on Friday.
I mean, I would love. I'd love nothing more than to see Rhea go up to the main roster and actually have a main roster feud with Charlotte whenever she comes back. But either way, I think Rhea on the main roster would be a good shout.
SmackDown. I would say SmackDown.
Yeah,
SmackDown.
I think most likely SmackDown.
I'd say Raw and go against Asuka, to be honest.
Yeah, either one would work. That's what's great about it. Shoot, sorry, I was gonna make a point and I forgot it already. Oh well. Yeah. So.
All right, let's go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I remember
now.
You
want to go to the next match?
Okay. My one point about this is that kudos to NXT for also having the audacity to not only work everyone and make us think that it was a dude coming back when it was a woman, but for actually doing two big returns in the same post-match segment. Okay, I just want to give a shout out to that, because it's like you would normally expect to do like two different maybe Toni does her thing right after, and then Ember maybe comes back. But then again, we were already at the semi-main event, so they still managed. They pulled it off. That's what I like about it, though. They pulled off doing two big returns in one segment. And they're not connected to each other, except that they're both essentially gunning after Io and the title.
Both former champions. So.
Both former champions, both coming after Io now. So that's pretty cool.
I like it. No, that like I said, again, you get that feeling.
Yeah, we said it. It's going to elevate the division.
Yeah, it's great.
let's go ahead to the last match.
Yep.
It was the NXT Championship match. The Finn Balor defending the NXT Championship against Kyle O'Reilly in a question. It was an odd match, and I'll get to that in a moment as to why I think that way. But it was a pretty solid match otherwise. And then of course Finn Balor does hit the coup de grace to retain the NXT Championship. After the match, Tim Hollands,
Ridge
Hollands.
Sorry,
but yeah, no,
Ridge
I know
Hollands.
what you mean.
Wow.
Yeah, you're good.
Oof.
No worries.
I'm good. I'm bad tonight.
Yeah.
Rich Hollands comes out with the carcass of Adam Cole and dumps him at ringside. And then Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong run out afterwards to say, "What the heck happened? What the heck happened? What the heck happened?" And we also got the respect handshake in the ring between Kyle O'Reilly and after the match too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll come and get. So here's my thoughts on it. I thought it was weird in a couple of respects. One, I don't understand why Undisputed Era was not at ringside. I know that they've sort of done this face turn now, but when logically it doesn't make sense because when Adam Cole was a championship, Undisputed Era was always around, always trying to help. Why did Adam Cole need all that help and support, but Kyle O'Reilly doesn't?
Right.
So that didn't make sense to me. And then secondly, how is Rich Hollands getting Adam Cole alone if they're all backstage together watching the match? I think the way I would have tweaked it is had, Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish at ringside. Mm-hmm. And then, if Adam Cole's backstage, and then Rich Hollands can beat him up and, whatever, and set up the next feud.
There's some inconsistency there.
Yeah, some inconsistency based on how the Undisputed Era have been booked traditionally.
Yeah.
I always like to point out our disconnects and inconsistent storytelling because that's what we do in Occupy Pro Wrestling. But nonetheless, I don't think it takes away from the match was excellent. The ring psychology.
Yeah.
It's best. Really, it was a moment, a star-making moment for Kyle O'Reilly. Did you know he's only 33? I thought he was a lot older because Bobby Fish is
No.
He's only 33. He's got good 10, 15 years. Yeah, well, I thought he and Bobby Fish were in similar age, so I thought they were both in their 40s. No, he's 33.
Oh, wow.
So he's got a lot of time in front of him.
Yeah, Bobby Fish is like almost 45, man. He did. I know he don't look.
Bobby Fish is 43.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize he had 10 years on Kyle O'Reilly. But either way, good moment for Kyle O'Reilly. They do the respect thing after the match because I guess maybe they're going to make Bullet Club or something with Finn Balor and Undisputed Era now. I have no idea.
I think, like I said, first overall, great match. It was fantastic. Like I said, the ring psychology worked. As people know, Finn Balor can go. He can go technical. He can go high flying. He pretty much is a switchblade. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can do either one. And you finally can see how good Kyle O'Reilly is. He has that technical down, that MMA style, that submission style. Those kicks and everything, and these two just worked well together, and it looked fantastic. It's just brutal too. It looked brutal too, and you can see the blood coming out from Finn's mouth and everything. I think that was accidental, but it worked for that one. And then you did have the mutual respect at the end, which works. But then again, they're trying to build, Kyle as a new white meat babyface, and it works. It works from there. Now with the Ridge thing, like I said, you probably could say, hey, maybe he walked away to the bathroom or something. He had to go to the bathroom, and he ran into Ridge jumped him then, and everything like that. He could go that route. I mean, if you want to be with that.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, you go that way. Those two coming out. The thing is, they're coming out there now. That's interesting. The interesting take it from this is Ridge. Why would we got that? Is why would Ridge jump him? What?
No, I understand why he's jumping him. It's more like why is Adam Cole by himself?
Well, like I said, I always like I said, he could say he went to the bathroom or something like that, or the match was over. The match was over, like that, and he was going to go. He was going to go. Hey, I'm going to go down there. Okay, yeah, we'll see you. We'll be right behind you, like that.
Right. Okay. I don't think they're ever going to explain it, so it's kind of left to our imagination.
Yeah.
Which is
but my thought is probably just near the end of the match, he's like, I'm head. He probably told him, I'm gonna head down to the ring right now.
I can see that. Yeah.
I'll get you guys there. Yeah. And like, okay, yeah, we'll wait till the end. So he starts.
Yeah, but that's you filling the gaps. They're not going to address it. I would
seriously
doubt
they don't have to. They don't have to.
They do have to, but they're not going to.
Well, they technically have to. We can fill like we're doing now. We can fill in the gaps as we're doing right now.
Yeah,
it's a little minor detail that we can, as the viewer, can fill that in because they can just say, like I said, or Cole can say, "I was heading down to the ring."
But you know how much I love the minor details, so.
But Cole could say that too during his promo. Oh, I was heading to the ring and you jumped me. Like, yeah, why? Like he could say that. If you want. But here's the thing: is why? Why did Ridge do it? It's Ridge working for somebody. And I know Ridge is probably not smart. If you honest with you, he's probably not doing it on his own and everything. I think this is a hint to a bigger group. Something else is going on here. Now, is Finn behind it? The club, a new club. Maybe Finn is fading. I don't know what's going on when it's actually his new boy and everything like that. That would work. It could because he could be building his own version now of the era. If they're taking Undisputed Era as face, which they're portraying now, I think they are portraying them as face now.
That way, yeah.
I think Finn is now going to set up his own little group now. And Ridge is, it might come to twist later down the line that he's behind. Maybe Ridge has someone else that's going to roll with him too, and then he's the one behind them. So, then they pull that shock twist out where I'm the leader of this group because they might be so they're going to go that route. I think they're going that route and everything. But it was I thought it was a great way to. Again, I like the story and the storytelling. Now we've gone from one thing. We end the note on this. Why? Now we want to tune in next week. This Wednesday to find out. Okay, why did that happen? Okay, so
all right, Alex.
Yeah, no, I'm with James on that. It's just funny that, and this is why I was silently laughing as you mentioned about like some of the theories on why Adam or how Adam could have been separated from the group long enough to get attacked. And I'm sorry, I gotta
not just get attacked, but get destroyed.
Oh yeah, get destroyed. But no, I just had a mental image in my head of poor Adam Cole just going to take a whiz.
That's what I was
saying. He
got
beat up by Ridge.
That's what I was saying too.
This is why you don't go to the bathroom during matches anymore. You either miss out on action in the ring or you get beat up, and nobody wants that. But yeah, no. The other thing about it is like Chris was saying, I'm a little confused on what Ridge is like. What Ridge's place in all of this is. My weird working theory is basically what James already covered as well. Is that the Prince got himself a new underboss in Ridge Holland, but the way that Finn's acting now doesn't match with that. So we'll see what happens. That's the key thing, I think.
All right, you guys want to grade the show then?
Well, and to this one more thing, when I'm coming with that, he could have gone it before he went to the show. Maybe he went to the bathroom before the match started and never came back.
Right,
guys
either
were
way,
either way, I mean,
no, that's fine. Either way, something happened. We may or may not ever find out what happened. But the important thing is what happened.
So let's grade the show. So it's what we do at the end of predictions. So I think we pretty much actually, James, you got every match right? No, we didn't. No, because we all whiffed on the first.
Do we want to discuss who won this? Because I know who won this.
Well, I think you guys won because
I won this, my friends.
He won it because I went different at the end just to be different.
Oh, I thought Alex picked Kyle O'Reilly.
No, James. I got confused. What happened was I got confused on Thursday on how we picked, and so I thought that it was gonna be either of you guys, and that's why I even made that weird that joke challenge thing. But no, it turned out it was me. So this means that I'm really good at making predictions when there's no punishment involved. Yeah. So it's like, what the heck? What are we even doing here?
Yeah, because I wanted to be different at the end.
So if you see me wearing a crown on Thursday, you'll know why. Anyways.
Anyway.
Overall,
but yeah,
great. Overall, I thought was overall Takeover. I've never ran into. Honest with you, my thoughts is I've never really had a bad Takeover experience, and I thought this is fantastic matches. All were great matches and like I said, I don't think it was a bad match. My feeling on the card, I thought it moved everything forward. I'll give it an A. I don't have a problem with it. I thought it was great. I was entertained. I enjoyed all the matches. I like that it does lead into some other things we're going toward. I think the ending was great. With Ridge and everything. Now okay, we have the mystery of that one.
Mm-hmm.
We have Amber Moon is back. We have Toni Storm is back. The women's division is getting an injection of adrenaline. That we have different things we can go now off that. And then we have so I say A.
All right, Alex.
Yeah, I'm honestly gonna go with A as well, and the main reason is simply because I couldn't think of anything that really detracted so much as I feel like it maybe was missing something. I just can't quite put my finger on it to actually put it to an A+.
Tag team wrestling, yeah.
That's possible, but yeah, definitely an A for sure.
I'm gonna grade it a B+. The reason for that being is a little bit of inconsistent storytelling, which whatever. But the other reason I'm doing that is because Takeover, we just kind of expect. This is a good show by WWE standards, but it's an average show by NXT standards.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
NXT has such banger shows that good is not good enough, I think, in terms of NXT standards for me to say, okay, this is an A show. Because if what you're saying is an A, that means that this is one of the best shows of the year, and I'm not sure if that's true. But either way, B+. I think it's a B+. It's a B+ player.
Well, here's the thing. Though. We're holding, that tells you how we like NXT. We're holding them
right.
To I
love NXT. There's nothing wrong with the show.
we're holding them to a higher standard.
I hold NXT to a very high standard.
You hold them to a higher standard compared to the main roster and everything. Because if we compare them to the main roster, I compare this show to the main roster.
Then it would be A++ every time.
Well, I was gonna say, and every main roster pay-per-view is gonna be like a C or a B- by comparison.
Yeah.
I see
your points though. In fairness.
Yeah, you're holding them.
Anyway,
to
that's B+. So put it up in there. All right.
Okay.